All right, so first of all, thank you for the mic check. I appreciate it. Like, I am pretty skilled in everything, in X combat, but also in matters pertaining to system audio. As I was talking to myself at the beginning of the stream, I obviously started with the usual and mandatory glory to mankind, and welcome to the stream. Thank you everybody for joining. And starting to banter about the patch and pre-patch events that are pertaining to tomorrow's Fargs Day downtime, where Front Developments has announced a minor patch where, if you read the patch notes, what they'll tell you is all we're doing is fixing a bunch of really minor things with the Type 10, with the Type 8. Whether they're minor or not, it's up to you, like the SRE getting stuck in the cargo bay, not enough clearance, like some landing issues with the ship. But my hunch is there's more coming this Thursday, based on like the Galnet news and based on the fact that a good number of major corporate megaships are scheduled to jump to V886 Centauri, in addition to several rescue megaships also jumping through V886 Centauri without any kind of like real announcement and warning and messaging other than the in-game notification that they will jump there. So it's a bit of a mystery. Like, what I will say is moving megaships is something that has proven notoriously difficult for Front Developments. When we worked together to actually move the flagship of the Anti-Xeno initiative, the Indra carrier, or megaship actually. Oh wow, someone's interdicting me, good. It was also a process that took kind of like multiple weeks to kind of get sorted and underway. So the fact that they kind of didn't announce it is consistent with like the historical patterns of like dealing with the movement around of megaships, which again for tactical reason is complex. Now we should get a scan if we are going to shoot this Cyclops now, because otherwise we're not going to be able to hit the hearts. But we can shoot it while we're getting the scan. Now what I'm flying here is a Crate Mark II with so-called Azimuth pre-engineered multi-cannons, which is one of the easiest AX ships to use, because AX multi-cannons are gimbaled. It's something that basically aims for you on without kind of like really a need to like do much of anything other than kind of point in a general direction. With Xeno Scanner, you're able to sub-target the hearts of interceptors, which is what I do. Probably actually get some additional distance here. Like, otherwise I'm gonna get zapped. I might get zapped anyway, but it's fine. Now my orbit has completely stalled, which is not something I'm happy, because it's gonna start shooting me in the face in a second. So I'm gonna get kind of moved down here again. And here we go. Now I only have a medium beam because I'm using my three large shots on the crate for my multi-cannons, which is why the shield is... Ooh, let's see, now my has stalled and I'm getting shot in the face. I'm using, as I was saying, the large shots for multi-cannon, so I only have a medium beam, which is a gimbal beam, which is appropriate to help cooling these multi-cannons, which run very hot. Even then, it's actually not sufficient to cool multi-cannons entirely. So that's why I have one heatsink for situations where I might want to pop a heatsink for extended firing, because it's not going to happen with Clops, but if I meet a Medusa or something that requires prolonged exert runs, I may want to be able to do that. See how my heat is already 25%, so actually I also don't have 4 pips in web, so I should probably put 4 pips in web. No, I don't, because like this one has just gone down. M-Tot Adzis are extremely powerful weapon. Large Adzis. Let's be clear. Large Adzi multi-cannons are extremely good. By the way, I'm going to ask you also for kind of like a mic check in terms of coordination between my speaking and the sound delay, because like that's another thing that's kind of found pretty tricky to get just right. And you'll tell me if like I kind of clap my hands, and you'll tell me if you hear the clap at the moment where I clap, or if the sound is ahead of the video, or if the sound is behind the video, so that I can fix that and we can get our audio issues fixes. I wish forever, but it's probably going to be just for the day. So here's the clapping. You tell me if it's ahead or behind the audio. At the end, I'll do it one more time, since you kind of now know what to look for while I'm kind of shooting with clubs. I'll actually do it while shooting with clubs. There you go. Clap, clap, clap. And you guys tell me if like the audio is ahead. It's on point. Good. We got that sorted out. One less issue to deal with. Thank you for the confirmation there. Alright, there's another no, there's like scouts jumping in, or something jumping in. Alright, one more heart left. Now clearly, modified shards are more effective at doing what I'm doing here. There's another interceptor that jumped in. What is that jumped in? I'm gonna go check it out. It's right here, by the way. Is that a basilisk? Let's see where a basilisk claws. It's a Bazi. It has 5 hearts. You can see from the icon below the where basically the shield of the Goid, you can see it only has 1 heart left. You see that 1 yellow bar? That means it has 1 heart left, which is a Klops with 3 hearts that have been destroyed. And here you can see the 5 hearts that a Basilisk has when it originally spawns. That's the easiest way at range, or if there's weird lighting conditions, to tell whether it's a Klop or a Basilisk. You need a Xenoscanner to be able to tell, though. Like, without a Xenoscanner, you have to rely on your visuals, because without a Xenoscanner, it will not tell you if there's a... like what the number of heart is. Now, Azis can take a Basilisk. In fact, Azis can take a Medusa too, and I have taken a Medusa. I mean, in fact, even just regular multi-cannons can take a Medusa. Although it does take some time if you do it that way. Now we're in what we call a multi-Goid situation. So, multi-Goid combat follows somewhat different rules than traditional combat, because now you have to pay attention to, like, not 1 but 2 swarms. Obviously not 1 or 2 interceptors, while trying to, like, ensuring that you are able to maintain time on target. Multi-Goiding is generally flown on a boost orbit. Now I might go boost orbiting just to show you how it typically goes. Now we got an exert with very poor visibility though, so I'm gonna like... Alright, here we go. Boost again. Now it's like hit, see if I can hit it. I don't think I'll be able to kill it though, because like, these things don't have the firepower to kind of finish it off in like 1 round. Now, the safest way to do multi-Goiding is to do 1 at a time. The badass way to do multi-Goiding is to alternate, as we call it. So do 1 heart of 1, while the shield on the other one is decaying, go after the other one. It's obviously a lot more risky, a lot more dangerous, and not something you should do, but if you want to kind of demonstrate it, I guess we're going to do it for the purpose of demonstrating. Also, Azis do have limited ammo overall, so we're not going to have enough ammo to be able to do both a Basilisk and a Klops without running out of ammo, especially if we fire outside of a useful range of a weapon. We definitely will not have enough ammo if we fire past 3 kilometers. Now I'm really too close and my orbit has stalled, so I'm double boosting to reform my orbit. The good thing about the crate, it has a distro for ages, so even if you're... See, this is why you don't alternate, because the Evergoid is lightning capable, which has just resulted in me shooting and shutting my sensors down, which also meant that I lost my lock, and I lost my engine thrusters, like, or at least most of the velocity. My orbit has stalled. I'm running too hot. I have to pop a heatsink. It's getting hectic with like multiple guards here. But I did get my exert, which is what I wanted to do there. But I don't have a scan, so I actually can't shoot the heart because I don't have a scan. So we're gonna have to actually get really closer. Like, to get a scan, you have to be within 2.5 kilometers while dodging swarm missiles. It's all fun and games. Right, now we have to boost again because like our orbit is stalling. Let's see if I cannot get too far away. Alright, we got the scan. Let's see if we're in time to shoot the heart. We're gonna tank and face tank a little so we can at least get some shots on target. And we got the heart. By now the shield of the Klops should be almost down and almost dead, and we should be able to finish off the Klops, which is out of range though, so we're actually not able to finish off the Klops. Now, a Basilisk that is lightning capable is pretty dangerous because it's very fast, so it's kind of has a relatively comparatively easy time to catch up with you. You're gonna be paying a lot of attention to where you're going, and like a Basilisk will do 530 meters per second, which is less than a crate, but less than a crate at max boost, and more of a crate at regular speed. So you gotta be careful velocity-wise. And I'm going to go down and see if I can close the range on my Klops and finish off the Klops while I am kiting this Basilisk in its yellow void chase format. Alright, this Klops is almost dead. We got him. Klops is down. Basilisk is missiling me, which kind of hurts. Go inside running. And now pop a heat sink and get out of there. Now, we've taken quite a bit of damage, so our MRP is halfway dead, so we'll take the time to repair it, while we also put some repair limpet on my hull in action. We need to wait for a shield to decay anyway, and we probably need to reset that swarm regardless. 07 Cyber Zero, hello there. Now, kiting while we are at this range is not something I generally want to do very much of because I have a limpet on, and if a swarm starts shooting at me, it will kind of break off my limpet, which is annoying, so I'm trying to avoid having to do that if I can. I'll check an ammo. I have 1500 rounds, which is actually not a lot. I don't know if it's enough to do a full Basi. Well, full, like 4 hearts of a Basi. Maybe, maybe not. But if it is enough, it's gonna be barely enough. And now it's missiling me, so I need to kind of like skedaddle away from the missile range. I really do need to reset it, even if it means taking a hit or two. It's now is a good time to do it. Pips an engine, silent running. I already have stalled, so like it's gonna trigger the lightning, but not at an angle that it could realistically hit me. I lost a limpet, but that's fine. It's not the end of the world. Now the shield is down, ready to engage. The swarm reset. We're in a kind of more survivable situation. So as soon as we can actually get our pips in weapon, which I'm failing to do, there you go. We're gonna open fire. I have to actually know because it's going to rearm. So I am inside running. I should stop that and pop a heat sink because I'm way too hot. And I agitated the swarm annoyingly as part of the process, and I'm out of range. Terrible organization. Like really a bad start of this attack run, but now we're close enough to be able to engage, especially if we're gonna boost orbit our way down up here. We gotta be careful about missiles. So, and we have adds that run really hot, so I do have to pop an hour heat sink, which is annoying, but it's somewhat justified by the just raw damage that these things have, which is very significant. We got an exert. Wanted to get close, but I'm fighting a swarm that is in missile mode, so I'll kind of joust the Goid and then see if I can boost right when he goes right past me. Boost down, tighten the range, and there we go. That was good. That was a good maneuver. Except for re-agitating the swarm yet again. That was not a good part of the maneuver. Now we'll have to kind of like re-disagitate the swarm once again. But we've taken very little damage compared to other situations. Although my weapons are kind of a bit beat up, and I might as well repair them since I'm not going to be using them while we deal with the cutting situation of the interceptor. Now, the thing we have to be careful is for it to not jump away, because like when we're this far away, we kind of lose its interest, and then it kind of like just jumps away on you, which is kind of sad after you kind of spent so much time in the fight already. But we need to kind of like re-disagitate the swarm, which when we're going at this weird angle, and triggering caustic missiles and generally doing poor things, poor flying, is not something that we can do. Now, if you had a fixed beam, you could shoot this missile down, but I don't have a fixed beam, so I can't shoot it down. So I'm not gonna, I can even bother. The distance of a swarm to aggro it, I don't actually know what the distance of a swarm to aggro it is. Let's see, now it's gotten real far, so I'm gonna see get its interest again. Alright, good. Now, let's see if we can fly past it. We triggered the lightning but dodged it. But now we're getting shot at because it managed to catch up. That's the thing about Basilisks, is they fly very different from like other kind of type of interceptors. So it's just something to be considerate about. Alright, my weapons are somewhat back online, which is good. That swarm I thought had been agitated, but it's not missiling me, so either it's like taking a missiling break, or I really don't know what's going on with it. Something else is jumping in the meanwhile, which we'll not have the ammo to deal with, but it'll be some good exercise to kind of like handle in the context of a multi-core situation. We have system capacity charge, which is good. There's multiple signatures, which kind of suggest that being scouts, which is probably the easiest arrangement that we could be dealing with. Yes, it's scouts. And here we go. Normally I wouldn't be orbiting this close, but the shield is almost down, so I'm kind of getting myself in position to begin an attack there. Even though, like, I got too close and I got myself zapped, but we are in position to fire, so we're gonna fire and we're gonna get the exertals very quickly here, so. Plus, at this range, we will also here's the exert. Wrong one. There we go. Right one. Now I'm at 30% halt, which is not great, but and the swarm is missing, which is also not great, and I'm at a bad angle versus the missile swarm, which is also not great. So lots of not great situations. But the heart is almost down, so we might as well clear it, and then we'll fight through the swarm, which we just did. And life is gonna be good again. But this will mean we got a lot of module damage, like when the swarm flies and missiles you that way. Hey, Arctic Sweets. It can get nasty. Alright, so now this is way too far, so we got a close range. The swarm is still on me. Actually, it was just recalled right now. But we were hot enough and in a range enough that we should be able to get its interest before it jumps out, so we're gonna be okay. If we hit it, that is. There we go. Still don't have its interest though. Now we do. Alright. We did it. Hey, I see you, Scream. And the swarm is now back on me. Now I have no memory or recollection of whether the swarm is a missile formation, and general best practice is always treat the swarm like a loaded gun. Always assume it's a missile formation unless you've tested and proven otherwise. Note also that because I have a repair limpet on, the swarm is targeting my limpet, and because I am blocking the limpet with my ship, the swarm is not firing at me. That is why the swarm is not firing right now. It's a bug, obviously. It doesn't apply to all ships. It only applies to ships where the ship blocks the cargo hatch from the perspective of the swarm targeting. So for example, it does not apply on the Eagle, because the Eagle has the cargo hatch forward enough in direct sight of the swarm that the swarm will actually fire at your limpet, but fires at you. Now it actually got lock of me again, and kind of like my limpet dropped. But it's fine. Friendly ship anomaly detected, something else is jumping in. And something was shooting at me, so I kind of lost my thing. This one is a single, oh no, it's multiple, so it's scouts again. Which is fine. Again, that swarm really doesn't want me to have a limpet attached. Alright. Its shield is down, and we are in a position to engage. Now we're in an approach that is kind of like resulting in stall orbit, so I have to kind of boost and boost past again, and reboost for my orbit. There we go. Now, I reform my orbit. I'm not in the ideal range, but close enough, so... especially since it's gonna close and this is gonna result in a good hit. Now I boost down to contain and maintain some range, and now I am thrusting up. And there you go, I got hard. Actually using less ammo than I thought I was going to. Did I pass through that swarm or not? Well, it's firing at me, so I'm not sure. Let's skedaddle and get away from it. MRPs are good. Modules in general aren't that good, but it's okay. Now boosting gets you comparatively hot, so you gotta be careful and use your beam, otherwise it will detect you and fire its shutdown field neutralizer. Not that it's particularly dangerous, because I have a shutdown field neutralizer. Actually, I have a fire with pulse neutralizer on, but it acts as a shutdown field neutralizer as well. Except it covers you only, unlike the SFN, which covers people around you for 3 kilometers range as well. The TPN only covers you individually. It also uses more energy than a shutdown field neutralizer, so it lasts for less time. So if you don't need a TPN, you're almost always better served by bringing an SFN as pulse defense. But obviously if you're going to Titan space, you need a TPN, otherwise you're not going to get there. So in that scenario, you will use a TPN. There will be a patch tomorrow, yes. The patch notes talk about just some Type 8 fixes, but the general expectation is that there's going to be Thargoid-related content pertaining to the fact that a good number of the corporate megaships are jumping to V886 Centauri? No, I'm getting confused. So yes, lots of activity regarding corporate megaships without a clear explanation in game leads to speculation that something's going to go down around Shindez, the home of the Pilot Federation. Which would kind of make sense. Like, I mean, if you think about the Thargoids, they're like, who are the folks that are actually kind of like fitting our numbers? Is it the NPCs of Aegis, or is it the Pilot Federation folks? The answer is the latter. So it kind of only makes sense for them to kind of like hit Shindez or something close to Shindez. So I can probably also pre-target the heart. I should have pre-targeted the heart, but I was lucky enough that it was the first on the list, so. Alright, heart is down. This I'm definitely not going to be able to kill just by shooting it, because I don't have enough DPS with multi-cannons alone. The good thing about the crate is like it's super tanky and it's got repair for ages. So like, even if you get really beaten up, you can bring the ship back to speed and like to come in combat shape in like almost no time. There's more things jumping in, I think. I can't quite see what it was. Right. Also, it can perma boost on just 2 pips to engines, which makes it highly mobile, even if somewhat clunky in terms of agility. Is it 10% discount, by the way? I thought it was 15. Is it 10? I may be wrong. Maybe I'm confusing it with like the discount of like beta backers or something like that. Like, or maybe I'm confusing it with what you get from Leron Yuri. Like anyway, those discounts are somewhat all over the place. Reminds me I need to buy my AX cutter whenever I decide to make an AX cutter, which is probably going to be never, unless they somehow release something that is a bit more friendly to the cutter as far as AX models is concerned. At Summerland. Summerland has a special discount on Imperial ships. I think it's 30% or something like that. Yeah, it might be just 10%. I might be totally misremembering it. But the discount on Imperial ships in Summerland is more than that. I think it's 30%, maybe it's 25, I don't know, but something in that range. It's pretty significant. Especially since it not only applies to the original purchase price, it applies to rebuys, as the rebuys are based on the value of a ship. Wow, kind of managed to have a Olympic completed cycle for once, like unheard of in this fight. Okay, so now it no longer regenerates, so we can fire also like from like some stupid faraway range. Noting that for whatever reason, this is like maybe my best orbit so far, when I'm actually not sweating it. So like, and there you go. We did a Basiclops in this system, which is not bad for a ship without guarding weapons at all. I didn't even want to do this. I wanted to go to a combat zone, which is like there. I got interdicted on the way, and like, how am I cycling through hearts? So I think you can see my overlay, my keyboard overlay in the top right of the screen. In the keyboard overlay, you'll see I have 2 keys, which are actually R and F on my keyboard, and they're mapped to subsystem plus, that's what SS plus means for, and subsystem minus, that's what SS minus stands for. And these are 2 keys that are mapped to cycle between subsystems of a given target. So that will cycle between modules of a ship that you have scanned, so that you have access to module information. In order to be able to sub-target modules, though, you need a detailed scan. So first you need to switch to a Xenoscanner, which it's tagged to my second file group here, as you can see, this one here. And you need to get a detailed scan, so you need to be within 2.5 kilometers. Now again, unless it's a Klops, I'm not going to have ammo to do an hour fight. But it is a Klops, so maybe we'll do an hour fight. So we'll do a basic Klops instance while we're at it, because why not? So when you get to 2.5 kilometers, you'll see that the detail scanner will start kicking in. There you go. It's now scanning. Actually, it's still out of range. Is it 2 kilometers instead of 2.5? Do I misremember? Do I not remember anything anymore in this game? I think I might not remember anything anymore in this game. It is 2 kilometers, not 2.5. Anyway, 2 kilometers, not 2.5. Anyway, within 2 kilometers, you're going to get this detail scan. When that completes, the scan will change from basic scan complete to Cyclops variant. Now, when you have Cyclops variant, you have 2 ways to sub-target, to switch to sub-target hearts. You can do it with the subsystem hotkeys, as I was showing earlier, as you can see here. Another practical way to do it is, in the context view, you can switch to target mode, and here you can see the targets if they're nominal, exerted, or destroyed. This is particularly handy in a really messy combat zone where everybody's firing plasma charges and there's like a humongous cloud that makes visible identification of whether you're on the right heart impossible. I'll show you how to do it now. I learned to do it when I was doing my blindfolded fight against Klops, because you kind of have to do it with the left panel that way. Or at least I did it then because I found it more practical. Alright, opening fire. Boosting sideways. Exert it. Oh well, now my muscle memory went straight on. I'll show you with a next heart. Actually, you know what? Let's do it, I guess. See, I go to the left. I go, see, exert it. Click. I targeted the exerted heart. And now, even without being able to see anything, you can basically use the left panel to select the exerted heart. And then, boom, that heart is down. Those are 2 ways of doing it. We're now at 66% hull again, which is back into really comfortable territory. MRPs are also in excellent condition. Weapons are in okay condition, but we should kind of like get them in better condition since they have the time to do it. And this guy's chasing me with its lightning attack anyway, so might as well. This one is already at 100, so this is good. Small one is almost out of ammo. Should have enough ammo to finish the Klops though, right? So this is repaired. What does long-range engineering do on your ship scanner? Does it help in range of X scanner? So the answer is a bit nuanced. So interceptors are always lockable. There is no such thing as interceptors being a blip that is not fully resolved. So long as you are in the absolute range of a scanner, you will be able to have interceptors on screen. What long-range scanners does is it increases the maximum range of a scanner from 8 kilometers to 14 kilometers. So you're able to see interceptors all the way up to 14 kilometers away, which is something with regular non-long range or light wave scanners, which is the most other common alternative, you would not be able to do. That's what long range does. They're also particularly handy for Titan space work, which is what I use the quiz most often for, because it basically gives you a lot more situational awareness of what's in the Titan space instance and what you're contending with in terms of hostiles around you. Alright, sub-targeted at heart. No, I'm pre-turning here, as the PvP guys would say. Pre-turning is not as big of a deal in AX combat as it is in PvP, but it is also kind of a thing if you're doing tight orbits as I was doing here. Now we're back at 80% hull. True luxury. And as you can see from the 2 orange bars below the shield of the interceptor has 2 hearts left. Or you can also see it from this panel. See, 2 hearts are destroyed and 2 hearts are nominal. Now this is just a single Klops that I'm fighting one-on-one, so this is as easy as AX interceptor fights get. I have literally done this blindfolded. If you haven't seen my blindfolded video, have a look at it. I think it's quite interesting. It was definitely an interesting experience. Right. Alright, let's engage. Exert. There we go. we also managed to do without agitating the swarm, which is nice. Trying to avoid those bullets, which I see coming at me. I actually managed to do it. I'm impressed. The planet is kind of dark, by the way. It's like, I wonder what. Something else is jumping in. When you're in occupied territory, things just keep jumping in, which makes for some interesting fights. It lets you fight in circumstances where you could actually not normally do it. Actually, I'm going to show you next round after I go repair the arm, because I'm out of ammo, basically. I'll show you an asteroid field fight, which I think is one of the most scenic and impressive things you can do with AX, which you can only do in occupied systems, because otherwise there's no other scenario in which interceptors spawn in an asteroid field. But if you're in an occupied system, and if you wait a little bit, they will spawn outside of the mass lock zone. That's the thing you have to be. They will spawn, and then you can drag them into the asteroid field and fight them in the asteroid field, which is kind of tricky, by the way. I will say, it's not easy to fight in between asteroids while trying to not get to not hit asteroids. Note how little damage we do at this range out, if we even hit. Let's see if we can actually kill it. Now that we have... No, I kind of... I hit the wrong button here. But it's fine. Now, since we have our full hull, we're going to finish it off my way. Which is something we first need to get our vectors aligned. Ooh, I got the caustic missile. Hit it. Fun. Alright, there we go. We also kind of finish our ammo on the shield, because why not? And down it goes. This is aggressive. But it works. Boom. The benefit to using AX multi-cannons over something like mod charts or Gauss. So that's a good question. The biggest benefit is that they're much easier to use. They basically aim themselves. Like, they are gimbal, they will track to your target. You can sub-target hearts. And if you have major skill issues in using fixed weapons, which a lot of people do when they start, I did when I started, it makes it much easier to aim. So that is the biggest advantage of using AX multi-cannons. Beyond that, they are probably the most flexible weapon overall in the overarching arsenal at our disposal. They work in Titan space. Mod charts do not. Hey Vinny, I saw you log into the game, by the way. If you want to tag along, I was thinking of doing some asteroid field fighting. I'm around Raging. And I'll get back to answer that, Richie, because we were just talking about a moment earlier about what's happening tomorrow. And so wanted to finish answering Michael's question. Sure, go ahead with this. So multi-cannons. Multi-cannons are, in my opinion, the most flexible weapons overall. You can kill scouts very easily, very effectively with them. You can fight interceptors with them, and with the Adsis in particular, you can fight even the strongest variants of interceptors. Like, I've taken down Medusas. It's quite possible to take down Medusa solo, and in a group of 2 or more, ideally more, but even just in a group of 2, you can even fight a Hydra. So they're quite flexible. They're very, very easy to use because of the aiming situation I was talking about a moment ago. You can use them against Orphis as well. They do okay at Titan bombing. You can use them against the thermal core if you want. There's practically no target you can't use them against. Sure, they're not as good as Gauss against Hydras. Fine, I get it. But, you know, you can't really use Gauss in Titan space because you're going to run out of ammo 5 minutes later. So, kind of defeats the point. Hey, Commander Lemming. And by the way, look at that fancy icon next to your name, showing that you support Commander Mechan. Thanks again. I like occupied instances too, Razorclaw. It's fun. It's like people just spawning nonstop. It can get pretty interesting. Hey, Klaus Schmidt, welcome to the stream. What are they? I missed what you said. I'm talking about Azimuth pre-engineered multi-cannons, which are the weapons I am using right now. These ones, which are pre-engineered with overcharge and autoloader. For weapons that, by the way, normally cannot be engineered, so it's a pretty unique setup. These weapons are comparatively expensive in terms of materials, but they're good multi-cannons. They're not ubiquitous and universal. Like, for example, if I was taking a crate to Titan Space, probably even a Type 10, I would probably not bring ADSIs. Actually, I would definitely not bring ADSIs. I would bring the regular, not the regular, the enhanced, the large, enhanced, gimbaled, anti-xeno multi-cannon, which is a complete mouthful, by the way. They gotta simplify the name of these weapons because it's like impossible. It's like so confusing. Like, enhanced, large, gimbaled, anti-xeno multi-cannons? I mean, I don't know, call them something, but not that. That's just too weird. Hey, Commander Idonis, you also have that fancy I support Mechan icon next to your name. Again, thank you. And as I was talking on one of the community posts and updates, there's now this membership program to support my channel, as I am a small content creator who only creates content for Elite Dangerous, where you get absolutely no benefits whatsoever, except for A, satisfaction of supporting a small content creator, and B, the fancy icon that Commanders Idonis and Lemming have next to their name, which is obviously incredibly valuable. All right. Let's dock the ship, rearm, and then if we're doing an asteroid fight, what should we bring? Asteroid fights, I think, scream mod shards more than anything. Mod shards? Or what else should we bring? Do you know if regeneration sequence triggers regen so Concordant can work? Or do you still need to go 3 seconds without taking damage to Concordant work? The latter. Regeneration sequence does not trigger regen. Regeneration sequence directly affects shield integrity, but it is nothing regarding the actual recharging of the shields proper. So it will, I mean, I know what you're going for. You're basically saying, hey, if I use regen sequence, can I trigger regen and then have concordance sequence on all the time? Yeah, I wish. I tried that already. Good idea. I tried the same. Unfortunately, the answer is no. Regen sequence is basically useless for all intents and purposes unless you decide to make a dedicated regen sequence Anaconda, which has a huge and probably a few more long-range Healy beams. But as we all know, support ships don't really have a role in combat in practice. I mean, almost always you're better off with an additional combat ship. So, yeah, don't use regeneration sequence. Use concordant sequence and fast charge bi-weaves, and that's gonna rock if you're flying in a wing. Or you can experiment and let me know if something works that I haven't figured out, which is absolutely possible, by the way. Hey, Robert. Good to have you. Mod shards for the win. All right, let's get mod shards. I think I have my mod shards on a gunship or on... Do I have mod shards on the gunship? I think I have mod shards. I might even have premium mod shards on the gunship. Which, by the way, the gunship is a fantastic fighter in the asteroids field because it's just such a... It's a bit of a meme ship, but it is incredible for what it does. Especially if I have premiums loaded, which I do. Okay. This thing is gonna wreck. It will end in self-destruction because I don't want to have to rebuy my premium ammo. So it's gonna end on an inglorious note. But let's do this. Let's bring the gunship out for a spin. I think this is, by the way, entirely no repairs because it's meant for fighting at outposts, combat zones. Oh, this is such a meme ship. It's gonna, by the way, be so spicy, so crazy spicy. But it's gonna be murderous. This thing is gonna splash clops. This thing is gonna give clops like better than a shotgun, and you'll see. All right, let's do it. Now let's find a place that has some kind of rings or a ring system. Like ideally, if it's like a ring system close to a star, where we can also kind of be in direct sunlight of a close star, that would be even so Oh, even better. Like, can't be the Titan system, obviously, because, like, this is just stars, so it ain't gonna work. This, I guess we can buy the data. This has rings. How far is it? Oh, this is a dual system, so there's no obvious way to tell how far it is from the star. But it is planet 2. And this star is 2.4 AU. So twice the distance from Earth, so it's pretty far. This one just tells you the same major axis between the two systems, but it doesn't tell you what the middle point is from the star. I think they're all relatively far from the star. But let's keep this in mind. Well, in case there isn't another one that we find immediately that has data unavailable. Free. There is no ring system here. Needs to be an occupied system, obviously. I think it needs to be also an occupied system that has not been cleared. I actually don't know if stuff keeps spawning after a system has been cleared. Maybe. Maybe not. And by the way, I somehow can't buy the data on any of these other systems, so I guess this is where we're heading. Alright, that's our destination. We have... Oh wait, all my ships have a different language for Kovas. I like the variety. For one, I think it keeps things a little varied. If I have an SEO FSD, that's a very good question. This is one of the... Oh, yes, I do. At some point, I decided to kind of like just take the plunge and put SEO on all my ships and engineer it. I don't know that I have the experimental on each ship, but at the end of the day, you don't need that small increase of mass manager on all ships. So, Snoquy has an asteroid bench. Okay. So if this is a double clops or something, like, this is gonna be fun. Or let's see what we got here. Unfortunately, you don't get a quad clops interdiction anymore. Like, ooh, these guys are about to have a really bad day. And you guys are gonna have fun. This is why I like the gunship. Woo! No, I kind of wanted to get the... I wanted to get the flyaway explosion effect. Oh, I kind of did. But not as kind of cool as I wanted it to. Too bad. Oh well, anyway, just in time for my FSD to charge. Very nice. What did I make? I made a mod shot gunship. That's what I made. I made a mod shot federal gunship. I know this is a complete... and I hate myself for the role that I've had in popularizing the shard conda. Because like so many people just say, oh, I saw a video on YouTube Shorts of a conda kind of getting interdicted and splashing free clops. I want that too. And then a bunch of people build it and they have no idea how to use it. And then they kind of run around panic shielding Cyclops and anti-xeno combat zones. And then everybody kind of yells at me, Mechan, why did you teach people to use things that they don't have to, like, can't have any idea how to use it? And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Small mod charts? No. You're not using small mod charts. These are medium. These are 5 medium mod charts. And the Kana has 6. But as you can see from this video, you only need 5. In fact, you can even get away with 4. But with premium ammo. But ooh, someone else wants to have a bad day. If it's a Klops. Let's see what we got here. Yes, you're gonna have a bad day too. It is Clop Splashing Day! Boom! Oh, I forgot to take the screenshot again. Come on, remind me next time to take a screenshot of this thing, because like, I want to kind of do the kind of flying away. I'm like not even looking over my shoulder. And this ship, I just splashed 2 Clops behind me. Well, you need premium ammo if you have 4. If you have 5, like in this case, you can gib with 5 mod charts without premium. By the way, I have Super Cruise Overcharge. I don't know why I have not been using it. I mean, I know why, because I was paying attention. Now I am. Dr. Dietrich Davidstein, hello there. You fought need minimum 5 medium march shards to insta-kill on interceptors. I do think you need 5. I don't remember if 4 with premium can do it, though. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you're talking about you having tested it, but I do think that with 4 with premium you should be able to do it. This one has premium ammo, but it doesn't have to. Like, you can Gibber Clubs with 5 medium march shards without premium with basic ammo. Yes, the gunship is a bit of a meme ship because it's too slow to really be used effectively in combat. But for this kind of showcase where all we're doing is flying around and giving clubs and basilisks, it's a fun meme ship. Like, it's pretty remarkable. Yeah, it is pretty nutty. Let's where should we drop? Like somewhere in the middle or something? Where's the sun? Hold on, let me slow down and see if I can get some decent lighting. I have my screenshot of like the clubs blowing. And I wish I had a faster way to turn off relative mouse. The sun is over there. It's kind of pretty far, but whatever. All right, if the sun is over there, let's go and drop over this direction here. And the bright side, which is more reflective. There we go. This looks good. All right, this is where we want. Perfect. Dropping. Why emergency? I was going so slow. That's not fair. Alright, so if you want something to spawn out here, though, you have to remain outside of a mass lock zone. If you go down in a mass lock zone, for whatever reason, they don't spawn. They're like, you're mass locked, I'm gonna leave you alone. But if you are outside of a mass lock zone, they will spawn. I'm gonna cut my speed somewhat so we don't overshoot or fly away. And then we just wait and chat while I wait for something to spawn. I might also increase my visual stuff because I want to take a nice screenshot, and I think I have the horsepower to do it. Just keep it at 60 Hz, but put some quality on. Not only ultra, but ultra with 2x super sampling, which is going to murder my frame rate, but should be still good enough. Oh, we're still 60. Well, before anything spawns, but that's fine. This is going to look so much better. Look at that. Look at the fancy eye candy. Eye candy. You don't want to do this in a group, or if you're flying in a wing. But if you're solo, why not? Yes, no, I was looking for a planetary ring. You know, star rings are too. They're too sparse. That's the word I was looking for. It is scorched, yeah. It does get pretty hot. That is definitely a fact. But wait, it does take a while for the first time after you drop. It does take a while for something to spawn. So this is totally normal that nothing is spawning. It takes a while before something starts spawning, but when things start spawning, they just keep spawning nonstop. Any particular cargo that you prefer to store to attract Thargoids? Well, I don't have any. I don't think I even have cargo. But if I was to bring any cargo to attract Thargoids, well, they love meta alloys. So I guess meta alloys would be the thing. Like, they're kind of food for Thargoids. That's the thing they collect the barnacles. You can also toss meta alloys out, and if an interceptor eats, as in sucks in, 5 meta alloys, or any Thargoid material for the matter, but meta alloys are by far the most common, it will summon another Klops. That's something that people are not all that familiar with, by the way. You can spawn additional interceptors so long as there are peaceful interceptors in the instance. You can spawn 1 Klops per interceptor by feeding the peaceful interceptors meta alloys. And yes, this gunship, I think, is definitely weapon-focused power distributor, because I would be dumb if I didn't have one. Yes, it is obviously weapon-focused, because all it does is shoot, really. So weapon-focused is the way to go. If you had it to also move, like a crate or any combat ship proper for the matter, then you'll be using a charge-enhanced. But if you're just shooting, weapon-focused keeps the ship more cool, other things being considered. Guardian relics cause instant threat from Thargoids. I I don't know if it makes it easier to track them. It also, I mean, they need to scan you, but if they do scan you and you have Guardian equipment on board, they will go immediately hostile, even the peaceful ones that you encounter in the Pleiades. That is true. 07 codename. Why not 4M2S? Because more shards suck is the simple answer, and because I have a 5th medium hardpoint, and why not use it for a 5th mod shard? You could put an additional small one, but the damage difference is kind of tiny, and you lose a class 5 slot, actually class 6 I think, on a gunship for anything else, for repairs or the like, so it's just not worth it. To me, if it's might be worth it to you, then by all means you should use it. Actually, did I get it opposite? Like, do you have to be mass locked to kind of like get something to spawn, or do you have to first get mass locked and then get unlocked? I don't know, it was something like that. Right, let's go get mass locked. I'm gonna pop on the other side of the asteroid field and see if that does anything. How are you doing on ammo, by the way? 165. Doing very well, ammo. I use one clip per... One clip? I have 175. I splash 3 clops. I should have used 15 ammo per clip. 15. Something that doesn't compute in terms of like ammo to me somehow, but whatever. Alright, so now we got to the other side of the asteroid field. I saw a flash. What was that flash? Might just a beam crossing, I guess. It might be a star. Where is a star? It's a planet. Star's the opposite side of a planet, I think. I could have just targeted on my scanner, right? Like, wise folks probably telling me that. Is that a moon out there? Might be a moon. Yeah, it's a moon. I was right. It's a moon. For the Common Core mod shard crate, it's explained in the instructions. You should stagger fire on the triggers. Firing 4 mod shards on the crate. Oh, there we are. Finally, there we are. Now let's drag whatever we got here. Well, first let's get its attention. Oh, now the annoying thing is I don't think I have a shutdown field neutralizer on the ship, because I think I put a xenoscanner, but this is meant to be used at... This is really dumb. Why do I not have a shutdown field neutralizer? That's completely stupid. Well, we're gonna get shut down, is what's gonna happen, because I have no way to avoid it at this point. I'm also way too close. So we're gonna go down here. We're gonna kind of pop flight assist off, and we're gonna pray. Because there's no way to do anything other than what I just did here. And yes, the jump range of the gunship sucks. I also don't particularly like the fact that it looks like a clothing iron. But I actually think the cockpit doesn't look bad. It looks like an actual gunship, like with the kind of like these arced things in cockpit view. And the general view arc is pretty good, like, so I can't complain about that. All right, now let's see if this guy still has my attention. Alright, so now we're doing what I wanted to do, which was fighting in the asteroid field. Now, I think we have a heatsink, so we are almost in range. So we're going to pop a heatsink. And now what we're going to do is switch to this, but to full weapon mode. And we're going outside view, because we want to do it in outside view. Ideally with like some closing range and some visibility here. And now we're gonna go shoot it. I don't know if I'm gonna hit it, and I don't know if I'm gonna kill it. But actually, I would. I want my beams as a laser pointer. Why is it not firing? Oh, now it's firing, but it's now on me, so I gotta get some range. All right, let's reform our targeting view, which was something like this. Now we have our beams. All right, now we're good. And distro's good. Where are you? There you are. Oh, it's still too far. I'm gonna start shooting me at 3 kilometers so I know it's at 3 kilometers. Oh, I have no idea if I'm gonna hit it or not, but let's see. I got it! Oh no, I'm not gonna do it in time. Go faster. Ah, nah. Man, too bad. Anyway, next try. I use null board, NOH board, and then I created a custom layout for null board to map to. Well, I'm in caustic now. I don't have a caustic sync launcher. Me get out of caustic. I'm gonna get shut down again, by the way, which is great. We have time to chat if I get shut down. Yeah, I was telling Vinny that all my different ships have a different COVAS language because I like the variety. So the gunship just so happens to be Portuguese. No particular reason that the gunship is Portuguese, just other than like in cycling through the different languages, it so happened to be what came out. So no, I do not speak Portuguese, except I do speak COVAS Portuguese. So I can tell you everything in terms of elite commands spoken in Portuguese by now because of the time I spent in the gunship, which is nice. Now I want to see if I can shoot a Klops. But, man, it's kind of really hard because, like, it's complicated. The camera controls are really bad in this game. Like, even the way you can configure a camera control is just terrible. Alright, I'm here. Come say hello, will ya? Alright. I love fighting in an asteroid field, though. Alright, so now let's see if we can do this properly. Got closer. I want you at 1.5. You're still too far, but this is good. Nah, I'm not gonna do it in time. Ah, too slow. Nah, not any good. Not any good of a screenshot. So you're trying to make a dedicated flagship for wing combat using the Federal Gunship. 2 flak and 3 NPCs. Didn't work out how I envisioned it. Yeah, well that sounds terrible on paper, if I may say so. Wing combat doesn't like flak. Wing combat doesn't like the gunship. So put together wing combat, the gunship, and flak, and yes, that's not going to work out well. I guess you can make it work if it's a wing with only gunship, since everyone is so slow. Maybe that works. But if you're flying with anything that's somewhat remotely faster, like a crate or a chieftain, forget about it. The gunship is going to be lagging behind constantly. And the swarms are just going to run circles around it even before you're able to shoot flag. 07, Mal, glory to mankind. Alright, something else is spawning. This time, I don't want to get shut down. So if this is not a Klops, so if this is not a Bazzi, which we will see in a moment, we will just shoot it before it even has a chance to show up. And take our vengeance from all the shutdowns we got earlier. So this is a Klops, so good. I'm going to move myself down. Probably going to get bounced because I'm getting too close, which is annoying. But then we will shoot it when it spawns and kill it, so who cares? It would have been great if we actually hit it, but we didn't, so... Die, 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 die! No! I almost had it! No, the thing about this ship is I have no repairs, so this is gonna hurt, but... I also have an incredible amount of tech. Because I have no repairs, I only have MRPs and HRPs, so this ship has like, I don't know, 8k hull or some stupid amount like that. Yes, I do have a class 3 weapon stabilizer. Which slot it is on, I have no clue. And by the way, this thing panic shielded, which is annoying, but we'll shoot that panic shield, so that's easy. And now we shoot down not only the panic shield, but we shoot down the interceptor too. Now if you can only see what the hell we're supposed to be shooting, because I can't see anything on there. Oh, there we go. The trail got in the way, but now we will splash it. And fuzz system off, and boom. We got malfunction, which resulted in us not being able to shoot it down because it malfunctioned after one shot, which is really annoying. But the good thing is we can just shoot these things down and shoot down that heart while we're at it, since that gun is still malfunctioning. But now it's not malfunctioning, so I might as well empty it up and shoot down the shield. Oh, we're gonna get zapped. This is what we call under-popping in speedrunning. We exerted that heart while the shield was coming out, which resulted in the heart exerted just below the... this is not exactly the screenshot I had in mind, but it's not too bad either. But with no engine running. Ugh, ugly. Did I get caustic? No, because I'm 400% heat, so like that's why. By now everything's kind of malfunctioning, and I should just blow up and fast travel back to my carrier. So that's what I'm gonna do. That asteroid looks like really nice and tough. So that asteroid. The annoying thing about self-destructing this ship is that it's got so much hull that you gotta hit like 4 asteroids. That's what it's got, like crazy amount of hull. Before you actually manage to kind of like destroy yourself, you're gonna have to hit it like 6 times. Yes, this one is using premium ammo, although it is possible to get Cyclops also with basic ammo, as I was describing earlier, for those who heard me say that on the stream anyway. A little bit early. Well, something else is spawning. Do we really want to die before we kill what this thing is spawning? No. Let's go kill it. Alright, now, hopefully that's a Bazzy. We're not going to give a Bazzy. They just self-destruct ourselves at this point. Boom. Yeah. I don't know that mod shards are particularly effective at core mining. I haven't tried them for that purpose, but you never know. Why not hit the self-destruct button? Because my ego prevents me from doing that. I feel ramming, and I think though I feel there's at least some dignity in ramming an asteroid, and getting yourself fast traveling by ramming an asteroid, like hitting the self-destruct button, yeah, and just sitting there seeing the countdown with your ship blowing up. I don't know. I feel it's less dignified. I know it makes no sense, but. So, Vinny, you were asking in which slot I have the class 3 experimental weapon stab. This one. I don't know why it's here. It shouldn't be here. I think I might have it here because I used to have the class 5, and I used to have another gun, but then I kind of realized it was silly, and I put 2 beams instead. I think that's what happened, at least. Presumably. Because otherwise there's no good reason to have it in this slot. Or is it because these are all military slots? Is that the reason? It might be that's the reason, right? Because these are military slots, I think. Yeah, these are that's okay. And not that stupid. There is a good reason why this is in class 5, and the reason is these are military slots, so you actually cannot put anything about HRPs or MRPs in here, or shield shell banks, but we don't have shields. So that's the reason. So that's the meme shard gunship for you, which was kind of fun. Let's do something else for once. The Mamba I haven't flown in a while. I know a lot of people hate on the Mamba. I actually love the Mamba. I think it's a fantastic bomber. I've loved flying it for a long time, and before the Pioneer 2 came around, it was probably my thermal core bomber of choice. There's the meme Condas with mod plasmas, but this one's a bit more complicated. This one flies better in a group, and this is great for combat zones, like human combat zones, but probably an topic for another stream. Let's go on a core bombing run. Let's show the power of the Pioneer Mark II. But I just released a video, by the way. If you haven't seen it, Bag Smashers episode 3, which is specifically around the Pioneer Mark II, has been released. Now, do I have torpedoes on the ship? I do. That should be on priority 2. I have TPN. I have all the things I kind of need. This is This is in a bombing configuration. Power is correct. This should go to 5, I think. This all turns off on 4 and 5. Yes, 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 yes. Fire groups look. Torpedo pylon, shot cannons. Mapped heatsink 1, map heatsink 2, caustic and scanners. Yes, this ship is ready to go from a bomber perspective. So let's go on a bombing run of the Titan region. The fun thing is you can do around 2 million, actually probably more than 2 million, with maximum damage resistance as it is now, even before it becomes vulnerable in a single run with the ship. It's like really crazy how good this ship is at Titan bombing. That's assuming I haven't become complete skill issued. But let me just confirm that I'm not misremembering anything here. Yeah, no, everything looks in order. Alright, cool. Off we go. 4 medium 2S because the gunship has no size free slots. So you might as well use the 5 stabilizers. So 4M to a size 2 beam. You get a little bit more damage. I mean, possibly. I haven't tested it. I don't know what kind of heat. I don't know what conversion looks like. Plus, I mean, you see what you can do, like with just 5 mod shots, you can kind of splash just about anything on spawn. And I haven't shown the gunship in action against Basilisk, because, like, again, I was by that time in the process of rearming, but it does extremely well also against Basilisk, although it is slow, so you have to, it requires, unlike Clubs, so it is kind of complete brain dead, like fighting a Basilisk in the gunship requires a degree of skill. It's not easy. It's actually harder, much harder than in a crate. Despite the firepower. We could try it. My hunch is my hunch is performance would be very similar to the 5 medium, but if it works better, why not? Was there ever an answer to the inconsistency in Titan core damage bonds, or is it just random? So that's a good question, Codename. I have no idea. I don't think it's random, because nothing in the game is truly random, so there is some kind of rhyme or reason to it. Although I am not sure what it is. I presume it has something to do with the last shot on the thermal core. So I presume, but it's a complete assumption. I don't know that for a fact. The logic being, if you land the last shot and the Titan core is below 100% damage when you fire it, what happens to the last shot? Well, we don't know. Well, it could be that it just counts up to the 100% mark. That would be the right way to do it. But if that worked, it would work correctly and you wouldn't see these weird numbers. Or the lazy way to do it is you don't cap it and it just registers for whatever nominal amount that damage is. But then you get variability depending on how much you overkill on that last volley. That's my hypothesis as to what is happening, but it's speculation. It's not based on any fact, rhyme, research, or research of any kind. Does ship armor harness affect Xeno damage? How high is the interceptor's armor penetration? So that is a very good question, actually. You know, I don't know the answer to that question. Should do some research. My hypothesis is pretty high, but I don't know. I say pretty high because I haven't really observed like type 8s, type 10s that have the highest armor hardness in the game take significantly less damage proportionally than, say, Sidewinders that have practically none. So that's what driving me to make that hypothesis. But again, I don't know that for a fact. So take that as speculation, not as fact. Definitely worth research. All right, so let's go. What did I want to do here? I wanted to make sure the stuff that needs to turn off. All right, stuff has turned off correctly, and now we're going in. Trying to not hit mines while looking at the chat. Oh yeah, it would be much better if they got the HP, the core HP up. I don't know that they're gonna do that, but you never know. Oh, yeah, I should pop my caustic sink. But looking at the chat, what do you think of the FDL? It's your favorite ship right now because of its agility, and with low thermal power plant, you barely get hit. The Titan Mark II and the FDL are almost identical as far as anti-Xeno solo and combat zone combat is concerned. They have the same distro, they have the same poor internal module configuration, they have the same arrangement where they have comparatively large hard points that they don't really have the power distributor to use, and they both have 6 utility slots, which is category leading for medium ships. So, and they fly also pretty similarly as well. So most of the things that I said about the Titan Mark II actually apply to the FDL as well. It's a ship that is okay in solo and anti-Xeno combat, but because of its limitation, it falls significantly behind other mediums like the Chieftain and the Kree Mark II. Also, the Phantom, honestly, is better than the FDL, if you ask me. Anti-Xeno combat, especially anti-Xeno combat zone in solo combat, really likes hull tanks, and bringing a shield tank to it can be made to work if you want to make it work, but it's going to take effort on your part, and it's going to be a choice you make because you want to make it rather than something that you can argue is desirable or optimal. Alright, we're in Titan space. We're kind of slowing down to get our heat to below detection levels, which we have. Also keeping an eye on what we got in terms of like spawns. There's a Klops heading there. I can tell it's a Klops because it's very fast and doesn't have the tail, the caustic trail that Orpheus would have at that range. It has slowed down, so that looks like it's spawning to patrol rather than to hyperspace. So it has boosted, so it might be heading out. You see the break in the trail, that's a sign of a boost of the interceptor. Oop! I was looking at the boost, I was not looking where I was going. Alright, now my shields will be charging, my heat will be a bit up, but we're still gonna be okay. By the way, I never get in time here to be able to do it on, to do a first run on first cycle events open, so I was gonna be waiting anyway. So what do we want to do? We want to switch torpedoes. Like, now that we're here, we might as well check the range. Range on thence for torpedoes is 3 kilometers. At 3 kilometers of a thence break. So this is roughly where you want to start, at 2.6, which is where we're at. Hopefully patrol leaves me alone. Let's see where it's going. Yeah, it's going down. That's good. So it's going to leave me alone for now. So we're going to wait while our shields charge. Everything else looks in order. I'm going to put myself here so that makes it easier to synthesize heat sinks when possible. And now we listen. We listen to the sounds of events coming open, which is not happening yet. And no, I generally never take out the turrets of a Titan unless I am in an escort duty. If I'm in an escort duty and I'm protecting podders that are rescuing pods from the Titan, then if I'm not fighting other hostiles around the escorts, I will be firing on the turrets, because obviously that protects them from accidental damage if they heat up or otherwise get targeted from some other means. That is the one scenario where I'll be shooting down turrets, otherwise I never will. Any speculation or educated guesses to what tomorrow and V886 will bring in regards to differences in Thargoid combat? Maybe a new problem, even guarding weapons, a new tech can fix? Maybe. I'll answer that question after I go on this bombing run, because the events are about to come open. We have pips to engine. Sit up. I should pay attention to what I'm doing for once. And focus. Alright, any second now. Alright, we're off to races. So far, so good. I think 2 more if I can't count. Yep, that's the last one. So this I'm gonna delay the shot as much as possible until at least I get a boost. And I am heading straight to the core because I want to be on target the moment the core comes out. Which you're not going to be unless you delay that shot. Which is something I kind of managed to do. Pony pips in weapon. And we are good to fire. And there we go. Two pips is fine. It works just fine. You know what? I have super high detail, so I'm lagging to death here. But it's fine. Usually I get to 13% at this point, but because I was lagging to death, I wasn't able to actually do 100% damage to the core. Next time around. After I kind of go back to a reasonable detail setting. 1.7 million. Still not too bad. But again, let's set ourselves up for proper stuff. Now we have 60 frames per second. I want to also kind of up the frame per second limit because that also helps with flying. It doesn't help with streaming, but it helps with flying. Alright, we're back to where we want to be. We're a little bit hot, so I'm going to pop a heatsink since I'm going to need to resynthesize them anyway. See if we can stay away from that scout that's on my tail. And while I'm going back up, I will get my frames per second limit a little bit relaxed. Well, we kind of get 80-90 frames, which is nice. Alright, and this should be smoother this time around. So we got our sinks back for the first slot, the torpedo one, and we're getting our sinks back for the second one. We're putting our pips back to 4 in engine for our bombing run mode. Oh, I wish they have added Thargoid foot soldiers. I mean, there's evidence they worked on them, but I think at some point they abandoned development on foot soldier Thargoids because they were like, this is too much work. We don't have the resources to do it. Not gonna happen. That's my hypothesis. What GPU am I running? Actually, I don't remember. Not the fanciest latest one. Definitely not the 40 series. I have, I think, one of a nice 30 series? 3090, could it be? Like, something like that. Alright, okay, we got detected by a patrol, which is annoying, because like, we gotta get moving now. Trying to stay cold. I got detected by 2 patrols, so now it's gonna get party time. Put pips to system. Get our shield to hold fire, but vents are coming open, so I gotta put pips back to engine. Alright, we started in a very poor position because like we were not around that vent, so this is not going to be super ideal, but I think we still should be able to get 8 vents if we play our cards right and stay high and on the inside, which is going okay so far. Note that torpedoes are turreted, so you don't need to keep looking at the target. You can start looking at the next vent the moment it begins to lock, which is something you generally want to be doing to go faster overall. Alright, that's the last one. Turn around, delay the shot, and fire. We did okay. Alright, now our frame rate is not dying, so our fire rate is not dying. So we're gonna do more damage. far so good. Assuming I hit all the 8 vents, which I'm not completely sure I did, I should be able to do 100% core damage, which is, I think, around 2 million in damage to the core. And this is 13%, which is how I normally am right here. Oh, I did not do full damage. This is annoying. I might not have hit one of the vents. I might not have hit the final vent on the way in. Alright, now we're gonna skedaddle with bits in engine and in system. We have one sink to use. 2 million core damage. That's odd. It looks like the damage I kept firing somehow registered still, which should not have happened, but it did. Anyway, I will try and do another run and see if I can actually do that 100% core run that I've been doing earlier. So, but hopefully without 2 interceptors on my tail slowing me down this time around. When you move to the outside of the asteroid field, the patrols stop chasing you, so you can break aggro this way. That sound the Titan just made, by the way, tells you that it's gone down to orange alert. When it goes to green alert, it will tell all patrols except a handful to jump out, which is something you generally want to do, which is why I'm not using thermal vent beams here to stay cold against the Titan, because that keeps the Titan in yellow alert, which means keeps patrols in the system, which means your life is hard. If you use heat sinks, you don't use beams, you don't keep it pissed off, which means patrols eventually jump out, which means your life is easier. Back to torpedoes, back to 141. Now it's still an orange alert. It does take a while to go back to yellow first and then green alert. It doesn't stay in yellow alert for long. I have not had griefers annoy us during a Titan run, fortunately. We had the occasional kind of person that had a beef that showed up at an event and was annoying, but that didn't last for very long, because when you have 20 people firing on you, because you have been annoying, you are not going to be around for long. In fact, it was also kind of an interesting distraction, I will say. Which I personally didn't mind when that happened. It only happened once. But it was a person that had a beef with one of the participants in the event. I don't even know what kind of beef they had. And honestly, I don't care. Right, vents are coming open. Are we good on sinks? Yes. There's also something launching behind me, but it looks like it's going up, not coming towards me, which then means I can ignore it. Alright, vents are open. Being a bit more careful with my shots to make sure that they hit, because I'm not sure I hit all 8 on my previous cycle. These definitely hit. Last one. Alright, this one definitely hit. Boost, boost, boost. Now, the thing about it is I delayed my shot less, which means I am slower on target, which I'm going to be later on target, but it's going to be fine. Alright, firing away. Now we put some pips in weapon. Try not to get too far away. Stay within fall-off range. So far, so good. %, as it should be at this point. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, go. This time I got all the this time I got them all, so I managed to get the 0. Boom! The 0% explosion. Nice. All right. And that's all with 4% hull damage, of which, by the way, I think almost all of it is hull damage from caustic on the way in. Not bad, if I say so myself. Alright, I think we've shown what this ship can do. It's time to fast travel again. Siren running, so my shield turned off. And back to the usual asteroid maneuver. This one, unlike the gunship, takes a lot less to fast travel. It does take some not skill edge you can actually hit. Oh, there we go. And by the way, the other reason I don't do self-destruct because I'm used to doing this, which means you fast travel so much faster. Like self-destruct is 30 seconds for you to get back to your carrier. This one is 5. So totally worth it. All right, folks, we've had some nice conversations about what's happening tomorrow in the patch and oddities surrounding the V886 Centauri and the convergence of megaships onto that system, in addition to rescue megaships as well. So something's definitely going down over there, if not directly on Thursday, at least this coming week. We've had some fun among asteroids and occupied systems. We've had some fun with Titan Bomber Titan Mark II. And with that, we'll wrap the stream up for today. Thank you for joining, everybody. Again, thank you for your support, for everybody who's supporting as a member of the channel. And glory to Mechan. Coming to Mechan. Over and out.